Hello again and welcome to another Warhammer 40K Imperial Guard Tactics video. Now before we get into today's video, I just want to say a big thank you to Matthew Weichsel, I hope I am pronouncing that name correctly, for sending in some really cool pictures of his Catachan jungle fighters smiting the foul Xenos scum that is the Tau, my most hated enemy. I absolutely fucking hate Tau, so it's always good to see them getting butchered. So thank you for sending these pictures in. I tell you what, guys, go on. We're going to start this video off very traditionally. I'm going to go off on a tangent. When I was younger, but a wee conscript in His Glorious Emperor's service, I didn't like Catachan models. I thought they looked silly. As I have grown older, I have come to appreciate Catachans, and I actually really like Catachan Guard armies now. And I think a well done Catachan army looks really good. I think it's one of those things you appreciate a little bit more with age. When I was a little younger, when I was playing Warhammer, I wanted to win. So I took myself very seriously. I want my Imperial Guard to look like proper soldiers. When you get a bit older, I don't take it quite seriously now. I played to win, of course, and I still go to tournaments and all that kind of stuff, but I now appreciate that the Catachans are actually a really fantastic model range. And it's going to sound weird. What I actually really like is seeing hordes of Catachans. Big blocks, big mobs of Catachans with just big swords and machetes, just going out there and just hacking up some Xenos. It looks cool. I think Catachans almost look better in a big blob than Cadians do. Sounds crazy, but I really think they do. But that's just my opinion. I do really like Catachans now. I think they look just as good as Cadians. I think they do. I guess it's because I think what it is that everyone and their mum has Cadian models, myself included, and so when you see the same similar sort of looking guard army on the table, but those people that play Catachans and buy Catachans, they love them, and so they want to do a really good job on them, and so those who buy Catachans tend to do them to a very high standard. I mean, I honestly haven't seen a bad Catachan army. If I was to redo if I was to collect a new guard army, I'd go for Catachans this time, and I'd go for big. I'd go Catachans, I'd go all flamers, and I would go sentinels, and I would go hellhounds, and I would go ogrins. I'd go full fluff mode Catachan. I wouldn't care if it was competitive or not. That's what I would do. I'd have people coming out of Valkyries, like proper Vietnam style, Fortunate Son. That kind of stuff. That's how I'd love to proper Catachan army. Yeah, and it works. It's good on the tabletop. It works these days. Yeah, it really does. Anyway, massive tangent, but sort of linked in. I mentioned Valkyries and stuff. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the Officer of the Fleet. So the Officer of the Fleet, as of Chapter Approved 2018, is now 20 points. And I think they're a hidden gem. I really do. I think they're almost if you're taking several Valkyries, you'd be mad not to take the Officer of the Fleet. You'd be absolutely mad because he's very simple. He's 20 points, and he comes with a pretty basic stat line. He comes with movement 6 inches, weapon skill only 4+, but ballistic skill 3+. So he's actually not bad at shooting. He's got strength 3, toughness 3. He's got 3 wounds, which is actually decent. 2 attacks, leadership 6, 5+ save. He's armed with a las pistol and can be given nothing else. Fair enough. And he has 2 abilities. The first one's a bit of a gimmick, but is better than the Massive Ordnance's ability, which I'll be covering in another video. It's called Air Raid Requested. Once per battle, in your shooting phase, you can pick an enemy unit other than a character that is visible to this model anywhere on the battlefield, and then roll a d6. On a 1 to 3, nothing happens. On a 4 to 5, the target suffers D3 mortal wounds, and on a 6, the target suffers 3 mortal wounds. You may only call in 1 air raid per turn, regardless of the number of officers of the fleet. So it's just like it's like a smite basically, but it goes on a 4. You got a 50-50 chance to do D3 mortal wounds to someone with a command reroll. That's not too bad. It's a free ability. I don't even think it's taken into account his points cost. I think his points cost is for a second ability, which is at the start of the shooting phase. Pick an enemy unit other than one which can fly within 18 inches of this model. For the duration of the phase, you can reroll hit rolls of 1 for any friendly Aeronautica Imperialis unit that can fly that target the unit you pick. Strafing coordinates. So pretty good basically. Now obviously it's, you know, there's a caveat there. You're strafing ground units, so you can't use it on units with the fly keyword. So it's a little limiting, but rerolling ones to hit. Don't forget Valkyries have the roving gunship rule, which means if they're in hover mode, then they hit on +1, so hitting on 3s. So it's actually quite good. You could have a couple of Valkyries that just drop into hover mode. Your officer of the fleet pops out. And suddenly you're obviously going to go for things like rocket pods. You know, Valkyries should always have multiple rocket pods and heavy bolters. And even now with you can probably say just the multi-layers now it's gone down to 5 points and go full strafing ability. And you're looking at an average of 12. Well, you're looking at an average of 15 shots from one Valkyrie, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. And all of those shots are strength 5 or above. You know, rocket pods are basically heavy bolters. Heavy bolters obviously strength 5, A for -1, 3 shots. So yeah, and the multi-layers is 3 strength 6 shots with no AP. So he's just, I mean, if you're taking a pair of Valkyries, this guy's essentially a 10-point upgrade for each one of those. Now you have to pick an enemy unit, and then so your Valkyries are going to have to concentrate their firepower, but it's still good. And Valkyries are good and they're tough. So yeah, I think the Officer of the Fleet is a hidden gem. Genuinely think if you're taking a couple of Valkyries, you'd be mad not to take him. He's so cheap. He's so very cheap. He can, you know, in a pinch, he's a character. He can run and hold an objective. You know, he has 3 wounds, so he's, you know, actually relatively durable for a 20-point character. You know, he's all right. You know, he has his uses, very much so. You know, but be aware here, this guy doesn't have frag grenades, so he has just his las pistol to shoot with. But you know, he's okay. I definitely say for 20 points he's worth taking. Little hidden gem. So guys, have you guys got any advice on how you would run the Officer of the Fleet? My personal preference is a pair of Valkyries with some Stormtroopers or veterans inside. I say Stormtroopers now because of the new Vigilus Defiant special detachment. With a couple of officers in, and basically what you do is you fly forward turn 1, turn 2, you drop down, officer fleet gets out, your 2 squads get out, you've got some officers, and suddenly you've got a load of plasma and melter on your squads. They're all rerolling 1s to hit thanks to orders, and your Valkyries, and you know, they're all hitting on 3s, units that you're jumping out, and your Valkyries are there hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, and it's just a whole lot of firepower. You know, you can blow things open with the squads with the melters and stuff, and then your Valkyries can chew up what falls out. So there you go, guys. That's how I use my Officer of the Fleet. Do you guys use it in another capacity? I mean, I haven't touched upon Forge World because I don't use a lot of Forge World because a lot of the tournaments I go to don't allow it. But for those of you that do use Forge World, do you have any comments? If you've got any advice for us, you know, put those down in the comment section. We'll build up that repository of knowledge, which is always, you know, really important to this channel. So, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and of course, I'll see you guys next time.